Alright, guys, so we're back with some more Halo Escalations. Today we're going to be doing episodes 6 and 7. I'm here with Archo.
Hello.
Archo's the guy that explains to me when I'm being an idiot when it comes to Halo lore. It's always good to have somebody around to tell you when you're an idiot. That's why I surround myself with such wonderful people.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to be doing 6 and 7 because, frankly, if we did... Because I was thinking about doing them 5 at a time, but these 5 would go up to 45 minutes almost, and I already have a large render ready to go for today that is going to be a monster. So we're going to be doing 6 and 7 because Arco just told me 8, 9, and 10 have their own separate story. And, yeah. What's up, Arco?
Oh, yep.
Also, Arco is thinking about starting up his own channel, which I think we'll be able to do something relatively fun with that once he starts it up. I'm trying to get my old editor together for him. If I can do that, that'd be great, because Arco has the voice to kind of do this kind of stuff.
Yes.
Yes. In any case, here we go. Escalation 6.
Fellow Canonites, welcome back to another review of Halo Canon, and to the final tribute to a great writer of Halo fiction. Halo Escalation 6 marks the final work of Chris Schlurf within the Halo universe.
They couldn't have picked a better picture for him. It's like the expression on his face is just sitting there like, you just finished washing your car, and then an ostrich came up and jumped on it and then took a massive shit. I'm just saying, that's what it looks like to me. Because you can't really do anything about the ostrich just shit on your car, but you're just like, I really wish you wouldn't. That's the expression this guy has on his face right now.
He looks like someone just came up and asked him why China doesn't speak English.
Man's contributions have, especially in the post-Bungie era, set a high bar for subsequent Halo stories. The raw emotion of the Chief's journey in Halo 4.
Cortana, please. Wait.
The creation of rich, interesting characters across multiple media. And perhaps his biggest achievement, in my humble opinion, saving Sarah Palmer. For me and others who took issue with Palmer's character in Spartan Ops and Halo Initiation, her development in Halo Escalation was a welcome change.
I really didn't have a problem with her.
Yeah, you see, it's kind of a thing. When you grew up playing Halo, and Bungie left after Halo Reach, and it was given over to a new creator. It was finally Halo 4 to continue the story after Halo 3 left it off in 2007. And then you play Halo 4, and this fucking strumpet comes up to the Chief, the fucking war hero who saved humanity no less than 3 times, and says, I thought you'd be taller. It's not exactly.
It's funny. That is always something that gets, like, I don't know if it's a generational gap thing, but that statement, I thought you'd be taller, is basically, for me, I heard that all throughout my childhood when somebody was talking to a legend, like somebody that was supposed to be a legendary figure. Like, they're supposed to be incredibly tall and be able to do all this other kind of stuff, so that just made me laugh when I saw it.
Yeah, the reception to it wasn't universally bad, but a lot of people took issue with her for that.
That's the dumb reason.
There's that, but there's also Spartan Ops. It wasn't clear in what we saw of Spartan Ops because all of the gameplay was cut out. But throughout the gameplay, you also get dialogue from her and a bunch of other characters. And in it, a lot of it, she comes across as incredibly abrasive and just generally belligerent for no reason, and she loves referring to scientists as eggheads for some reason. It's almost a...
Yeah, so basically, I missed all the annoyance.
Yeah, a little bit.
Alright.
No longer the cocky hypocrite, Palmer felt more like a real person, suddenly having to deal with the consequences of her command decisions, and learning some damn humility. We can only hope that future writers learn from this example. Thank you, Mr. Schlurf, for your contributions to Halo.
He's seriously... the expression, I can't get over it, man. I just can't. It's like,
Hey, buddy. You ever tried meth?
You will be sorely missed, and we wish you the best of luck in all your future endeavors. Alright, let's move on. You're here for a review of issue 6, not necessarily me singing Schlurf's praises. So let's get right into things. Our issue starts with seeing the sorry state of the Infinity. Having taken 3 shots from a Covenant glassing beam, the ship is in horrible condition, arguably on the verge of destruction. On board, Hood has been severely injured, and I mean severely injured.
you know, you think with as much weight as he's gained and lost, that he will be able to, like, clone himself at this point.
I thought it was an android.
Yes.
Commander Bradley is dead, and Infinity herself is dead in the water. Or vacuum. This scene is beautifully drawn for once, and really draws you into the dire situation that Hood and the Infinity are facing. I don't want to put Hood's full monologue in here, so I'll encourage you to pick it up if you really want to get into what I'm talking about. I want to quickly readdress the issue of the Infinity shields of the glassing beam. I talked about it briefly last issue when the first shot was fired, but I still saw a number of comments concerning this. So remember, this is a glassing beam, a Covenant ventral beam, which we've only seen used against a ship once in the history of the Halo franchise. At the end of the level tip of the spear, the Long Knight of Solace uses her ventral beam to take out the UNSC Grafton, a heavy frigate. Now, based on what we can see, the ventral beam is nowhere near close to its full potential. So really, issue 5 and issue 6 are the first time we see such a weapon used against a UNSC ship. Now yes, Infinity has shields, and yes, they are based on Forerunner tech. However, they are still energy shields, and they are more vulnerable to plasma weaponry than standard projectile weapons.
Okay.
Given this, it is conceivable that a single shot from a glassing beam could break through the energy shielding pretty easily. Anyway, with Infinity all but beat, Palmer and Majestic take off in their booster frames.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, all of what he said is technically correct there, though, once again, as I've said, referring to it as a glassing beam is spurious, especially since the thing that shot Infinity was a space station and not a ship.
Right.
Which wouldn't be doing glassing operations. Glassing beams fall under the energy projector category, and they are universally devastating in any battle, really. And he is... I was going to say that the Long Knight of Solace obliterating the Grafton with its ventral beam is... I was going to say that doesn't really say much, because Long Knight of Solace is a fucking ludicrously large, powerful ship. One of the largest in the entire Covenant Navy. But yeah, he pointed out what we saw in Halo Reach was nowhere near that weapon's full potential.
Yeah.
To neutralize the glassing beam. What really caught my attention about this panel is the fact that the booster frames seem to have Spartan numbers on them. Or one of them does. When the booster frames were first introduced in Halo Legends, they had the numbers of the Spartan pilots on them. Chief with 0117, Kelly with 0087, etc. Palmer's is seen with the number 0069. Whether this is meaningful or not is yet to be seen, of course.
Yeah.
On board the Covenant space station, we find out that the glassing beam is overheated. To keep Infinity from retaliating while the glassing beam recharges, Clayton orders Gajat and his crew to distract them, for a fee, of course. Instead, Gajat decides he'd rather finish Infinity himself, since such an accomplishment would bring untold notoriety and coin. Okay, I think you all know what time it is. Art complaining time! I know, not really catchy, but not really the point. In this case, I think we can blame the editor for this little screw-up. Curious as to what I'm referring to? An ill-cropped scene from a disgruntled Clayton. double-chinned, beard abruptly stopping. Yep, some editor missed a major cropping error. Anyway. With Kajat and Clayton distracted, the Spartans find their opportunity to sneak on board. Acting like
What was he going on about right there?
He's
Just
going
the art?
Yeah, just the cropping error.
Okay.
real Spartans, they swiftly take over the bridge of the space station. Madsen knocks out Clayton, and the Spartans blow up Kajat's ship. And what a beautiful explosion it is. We jump forward 72 hours as Infinity is undergoing repairs, the Covenant space station is taken control by the UNSC, and Lasky and Ray finally make their way back to their ship. Ray is sent down to S-Deck for a debriefing, while Palmer apologizes for her behavior prior to Lasky's departure. The two then head out to enjoy a glass of scotch together.
I was going to make an Anchorman joke about scotch, but I'm all out of scotch, so here's some dry gin.
I would have told him never to do that. Just say no.
It burns!
No shit!
Oh, that really burns.
Really?
In another part of the ship, Hood, now in a wheelchair, visits Clayton before
Why is he 50?
the former captain is sent off to Midnight Facility. So, a couple things here to discuss before we finish the summary. To start, we have Hood in a wheelchair. Just briefly, I can't help but wonder if this is going to be a permanent thing, if we might see him this way in future games. Just some quick thoughts that came to mind. Second, and obviously more important, is the mention of Midnight Facility. This Oni facility was first mentioned in the Thursday War, and was where Admiral Paransky sent Dr. Irena Magnuson after the good doctor allowed Jul and Dama to escape Oni RF Trevelyan. We still really don't know anything about this facility other than Magnuson nearly shit herself when Paransky sentenced her there. Clayton seems to think he won't be killed at the facility, and Hood really doesn't seem to be the kind of man that would sentence people to covert deaths.
Would he really, though?
We've seen no indication of that.
Yeah.
If you're wondering what I'm talking about, many thought that Magnuson was sent to Midnight Facility to be killed. This may actually still be the case, but as the UNSC proper knows of Midnight's existence, I don't really see it as that kind of facility. Perhaps we could think of it as a futuristic Guantanamo Bay. I do hope we find out exactly what it is. This segment of the comic comes to a close with Daniel Clayton informing Hood that the new Colonial Alliance has agents on every colony and, quote, on the poisoned shores of Earth herself. Before they part, he vows that he and Hood would meet when the UNSC finally crumbled, or as he says, when the Empire finally falls. And just to annoy me, the art in this final section is atrocious.
Has he not been around and been paying attention to what's going on in the wider universe for, I don't know, since the Covenant basically started deucing out everyone?
Oh, he has, but he's not alone. There's a bunch of other insurrectionist cells that still have a hate boner for the UNSC and still want to destroy it.
He's an idiot.
I mean, look at this. This guy looks like he's having a stroke. The comic comes to a close with us finally seeing the Spirit of Fire. Seemingly just drifting through space, the ship approaches an unknown world in a binary star system. Inside, an alarm is warning to evacuate the ship. Strangely, half the ship's cryopods are open and empty, and in the final panels, we see a flood infection form scurry across the cryo bay. A promise of things to come. Hot damn, what an issue! Schlurf certainly went out with a bang in more ways than one. You could say he took a page from the Sergeant Johnson playbook.
Send me out.
That's not right. Don't do that to me.
He knows what the ladies like.
In this issue, even though its
Yes.
description was misleading, by which I mean an outright lie, it's still a great read. Palmer's character has certainly undergone a transition in Schlurf's hands, and we can only hope that 343 takes notice of the positive community feedback. Sadly, it seems that we're done for Petra for now, despite what the damn description says, but I think we can expect to see her again in the near future, since the Chief is returning and all. And boy, even though the Spirit of Fire wasn't recovered, it is still around, and I love the idea that it might be carrying the Flood. Many of us lore fans have been predicting the return of the Flood for the Reclaimer saga, and it looks like we might finally have some solid proof. Only time will tell. And with this, one cannot help but wonder if a Halo Wars 2 might actually be in the works. We have 30 years worth of time between the end of Halo Wars and the Spirit of Fire's appearance in Halo Escalation 6. So, really, lots of potential for a game. Well, that about wraps up this issue. Once again, a great issue, and I am so glad to see Chris Schlerf leaving on such a high note. The next issue, releasing on June 25th, will start the new Phoenix story arc and really start investigating the fallout from Halo 4's campaign. On an unrelated note, I want to remind everyone about the upcoming Q&A. I'll be taking questions right up through next Friday, so get them in if you haven't already. The final video will go live the morning of June 8th, a day before Microsoft's E3 media briefing. And if all goes according to plan, I'll be providing coverage and commentary.
Okay, I think he's done with that right there. Yes. Any final thoughts?
Nope.
No. All right, episode 7. Here we go.
Well, here we are. It's June 25th, Christopher Schlerf is gone, and Brian Reed is in charge of Halo Escalation. So, the big question, how did he do? Well, not bad, really. It's been 8 months since the Didex attack on Earth, and New Phoenix is no longer under quarantine. The comic opens with a little backstory about Spartan Thorne, and for people who like little tidbits of information, this is absolutely great. The comic starts with Thorne talking about his childhood. We know he was born in New Phoenix, but he might have been a true military brat during his early years, since the comic states that Thorne hated Earth, finding it to be, quote-unquote, too built up, too old. Based on that, he must have been on other
The Covenant laughs.
planets in his lifetime. Add to that his grandfather wanted Thorne to learn about his mother's homeworld, and it seems pretty clear that Thorne was raised off-world. The first pages, along with the aforementioned narration, features an 8-year-old Thorne giving a report on the city of New Phoenix, which is apparently made up of modern-day Phoenix and Flagstaff. This falls in line with what we've learned about 26th century Earth, such as the formation of the Greater Chicago Industrial Zone, a zone that makes up much of the former states of Illinois, Wisconsin, and Indiana. Included with this presentation...
Yeah, what?
It turns out as the cities grew and grew and grew, they sort of just combined across state lines and formed new states.
So basically Mega City 1. Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
is something of a map showing how the US, and really all of North America, now known as the United Republic of North America, has changed over the centuries. All interesting, especially for me, but let's move on. On the same day as this presentation, Thorne finds out from his grandfather... Oh, did I mention that Thorne lived with his maternal grandparents? That his parents are dead. Both of his parents were army officers and had been stationed on the colony of Alluvian. Hooray, another new colony! Sadly, they were unlucky enough to be there when the Covenant showed up to glass it. Oh.
That's bad. That's just an unfortunate day.
I guess not so yay. Flash forward to the present. In orbit, Thorne and Majestic have been spending a week on board Oaxaca Station as Infinity is undergoing repairs. With New Phoenix being reopened and being so close to home, Thorne is having nightmares. The dreams start out with his grandmother teaching him to play violin. Suddenly, Thorne is grown up and an orange glow is seen outside of the house windows. The dream becomes a nightmare, with Thorne only able to watch as his
Okay, seriously, look at his... What the fuck is wrong with his head? What the fuck is wrong with his head?
grandmother and all the citizens of New Phoenix are composed. And now for a bit of art bitching. What the hell is up with this scene? Thorne just looks plain awkward, which sucks because the art was pretty solid up until this point.
He looks like Jared from Subway.
Oh, God.
My career.
Anyway, Thorne is woken by Grant. Since it turns out neither of them can sleep, they decide to go for a walk. I guess they walk to the cafeteria? Anyway, Grant encourages Thorne to talk about his dreams and over some food, convinces Thorne to go to the reopening of New Phoenix, even offering to act as backup for him. We flash forward 2 days to March 24th, with the UAG President Ruth Charette giving a speech concerning the incident at New Phoenix. President Shard was first mentioned in Halo Glassland, so it's kind of interesting to actually see her.
That was such a terrible pun. Halo Glasslands?
What about it?
Ugh.
In the crowd, we can
You
also
like
see just
that.
how tall
Huh?
You liked that name the last 2 times you've heard it.
I don't. It's just like when you hear it once, it's like, oh, that's kind of clever. You hear it twice, it's like, okay, and now it's like,
Grant and Thorne are compared to normal humans. I mean, we kind of knew this, they're Spartans, but it's still pretty funny to see. I also want to point out that the uniforms they're wearing seem to be based on those used at the Corbulo Academy of Military Science.
It does
Nothing very
actually.
special, but just interesting. After the ceremony, Thorne takes Grant to his grandmother's house and starts showing her around. We get a couple fun Easter eggs as we pass through Thorne's room, including a holo of him and his grandparents when he joined the army, and a Master Chief action figure. On the subject of the action figure, I have to...
There's some. The Halo universe has Master Chief action figures.
You best fucking believe that Oni just went balls to the wall making Spartan propaganda shit.
Ah, that makes sense.
say, I wish 343 would stop using the Chief's armor from Halo 4 when depicting his past forms. Use the classic Mark 4, Mark 5, or 6. Seriously, acknowledge these armors! Also worthy of note is that the figure was purchased by his grandmother to celebrate Thorne's recruitment into the Spartan 4 program. This would seemingly contradict what Thorne said in Halo 4.
So, Mr. Thorne, what interest is my research to you, specifically?
I enlisted with the Spartans because I was in the army a year before my family and friends were killed at New Phoenix. I always thought the Spartans were special.
Now granted, Thorne doesn't actually say he joined the Spartans after the New Phoenix incident. It just implies that he joined because of the incident. Then again, this isn't the first time 343 has screwed with Thorne's origins. The Halo 4 Essential Visual Guide says that Thorne joined the UNSC in 2552, the earliest he could have joined is July, and somehow finished basic training in time for the Battle of Reach. This is all despite Spartan Ops saying that he had only been in the army a year before New Phoenix. So, yeah. Anyway, as Thorne ventures out back, he finds where his grandmother had been during the attack. She had been outside, practicing her violin. Thorne immediately wants to leave. I mean, who wouldn't? But Grant convinces him to cherish the...
Okay, so what happened in New Phoenix where it killed the humans but left everything else?
You saw what the composer did in Halo 4, right?
Yeah, but I always thought, boom, detonation. What the fuck?
No, you saw in the cutscene on that space station where the lady you talked to was fucking disintegrated and everyone else was.
I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. My brain does not work when it is like today. No, it does not. I'm a fucking idiot.
memories he has of this place. And indeed,
I'm a fucking idiot!
Thorne does, sitting down to play the violin one last time. Flash forward 3 weeks, and Thorne is doing much better, haunted only by the dreams of a talking couch named Steven. The issue ends...
Wait, the fuck? I gotta run that back.
I think that's a reference to something.
Flash forward 3 weeks, and Thorne is doing much better, haunted only by the dreams of a talking couch named Steven.
Not a reference, it's actually in the panel. You can see it.
Flash forward 3 weeks, and
That's about a...
Thorne is doing much better, haunted only by the dreams of a talking couch named Steven. The issue ends with the Infinity jumping to coordinates unknown in 4 words that hint at what we all know is coming. Next issue. Master Chief. So, overall, I'd say the issue was pretty good, especially considering the whole thing is basically filler before we get into the next 72-hour story arc. Through the comic, we get little snippets of information, as mentioned at the beginning of this video, some insight into Thorne's past, and we finally put to rest the issue of New Phoenix. It also seems that 343 may be sowing the seeds of a relationship between Thorne and Grant. Can't say I'd be against it if that is indeed the case, but I might be reading into things. But perhaps most important of all, it seems that Brian Reed may do well with Escalation. I don't want to get too optimistic yet, but I do feel cautiously positive about future issues. Only time will tell if I'm right to do so. Before going, let's look forward again, this time to the recently revealed cover for Halo Escalation Issue 10. The cover features 4 Spartans, one of them being the Chief, the others unknowns. However, given the armor designs, it seems to hint at Blue Team making an appearance in this issue. We see what we presume to be Kelly with her EVA helmet, presumably Fred with the same helmet he had in Halo Legends.
All right. The great journey ends here.
Okay.
When I can only guess that he's Linda
Like, that was just very loud. It startled me.
with a modified CIO or Tracker helmet. Tracker would make more sense.
What the fuck are they?
Those are multiplayer customization options from Halo 4.
Since the armor was made to track long-distance targets. I can't say that I'm happy with the Spartans wearing the Chief's modified Mark 6 armor, especially since the Halo 4 Essential Visual Guide said that Blue Team has been using baseline Mark 6, like we see in Halo 2 and 3, and its variants. It could just be a choice for the cover art, but I wouldn't be too surprised if this is how they looked, assuming this is Blue Team, and assuming they actually show up in the issue. So, that about does it for Halo Escalation. It was a good read, so be sure to pick it up. I'll leave you with this last thought. Thorne may very well have killed his own grandmother during his tour on Requiem. Special thanks to Decepticon Cobra for that heartbreak.
What?
The composer digitizes human beings and turns them into Prometheans.
Oh.
Yep.
That's kind of fucked.
It's the entire point of the composer.
Ah.
To create Promethean knights.
That's just bad.
Hey guys, thanks for
That's just bad optics.
watching my video.
Alright, so that was episode 6 and 7. We're going to be checking out 8, 9, and 10 pretty much whenever I have time and Arco have time at the same time. Which we do have time on occasion. Time to do this, time to do that, but mostly
every day.
Yes. Or at least do we attempt to. In any case, like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. There's Discord down below you can request reactions for. I did handle, there was the Russian Badger video today that people wanted to see. It's the newest one they've put out, and oh my god, it's ridiculous. Also, I checked out the 3 gameplay trailers that dropped a few days ago. If you'd like to support the channel, I have a Patreon down below, but I'll catch you guys next time. And Arco? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.